Good day, emerging mothers. I hope you all are well. Dr. Michelle Lloyd coming right back at you with some thoughts and some ideas, and so glad that you all are joining me. I really appreciate you all being here. And listen, it is spring break. For those of you who are vacationing, I'm excited about you taking and your family taking a long needed rest. And my prayer is that you are entertaining yourselves with much needed pampering. That's my hope. That's my goal. That's my focus is just hoping that, and hoping you all are focusing on taking, of course, a much needed pampering break. You know, what I'd like to do today for our Thursday 8 p.m. Central Standard Time session, I would like to talk about making good social choices, yet from a mother's perspective. That's what I would like to do. And I would like to hone in under the umbrella of halting the hovering. I totally said it because guess what? You know, this is something that, as unintentional as it is, it does happen with some of us mothers. And so I'd like to talk about that just a bit in this segment here. And I think it's important for us to talk about it and address it, because the whole hovering that some of us do, it can cause our teens mental issues, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's them later on in life, of course, having lack of confidence. It could lead to that, and also it can lead to low self-esteem. You know, there was a study done in 2010, and the study was done by a researcher by the name of Neil Montgomery. He's a psychologist at Keene State College, and he found that overprotective parents might have a lasting impact on their teens' personality by prolonging the childhood and adolescence. When we're hovering, when we're just all up in the mix and in the midst, of course, our teens are unable to make those decisions that they ought to be making on their own by a certain stage or by a certain age. You know, they're always up under our supervision. They're, you know, as opposed to being out and about and having just a little bit more freedom. And so he's saying that because we're delaying this childhood and this adolescence, then some of their growth is being limited. And so, and I so believe him, approximately 300 college freshmen were surveyed, and about their level of agreement with statements regarding their parents' involvement in their lives. And the results showed that 10% of the participants, they of this survey, they had helicopter moms or helicopter dads, helicopter parents. The research also revealed that students with helicopter parents, they had a tendency to be less open. They had a tendency to try new ideas or try new ventures. They were a little bit more self-conscious. The study also found that they were more dependent, and then they had a tendency to be just a little bit more vulnerable in certain situations and during certain circumstances. And you know what? And then there was another study done. That's one study in 2010. Another study was done in 2016, not too terribly long ago. And the study was done by the National University of Singapore. And the study is published in the Journal of Personality. And that study indicated that children with intrusive parents who had high expectations for their academic performance and who overreacted whenever a mistake was made, then of course they were more critical of themselves, they became anxious, and then they experienced depression. So I think it's imperative that we talk about this today, just so that we are able able to govern ourselves as it pertains to us, of course, parenting our sons and parenting our daughters. It's imperative. It's imperative. So let me ask you to consider this. As your teens, they're juniors and seniors mainly. I have a high school freshman, but trust that I will be practicing these same things. And some of these I did practice with my older two daughters. For those of you who know, I have these three daughters, and two, of course, have already graduated from college, but I have this freshman. For those of you who have juniors and seniors, just consider these 4 thoughts, these 4 ideas, and I won't be before you long. And you'll be able to gauge based off of your students' maturity level, and you'll be able to, of course, again, govern your actions accordingly. But consider this, that as they are preparing to transition out of the home, consider number one, handing over to them, of course, their social security card, also their medical and dental cards, plural, if you will, also their AAA card, if you all are signed up for AAA or what have you. And because this is what's going to help you and your teen begin to really identify and define the role that both of you are entering into. And it's a role that both of you will be uncomfortable with. But consider beginning to hand those things over, whether it's the Social Security card, the medical card, the dental card, the AAA, and also when we were on campus, when we visited the campus the very first time, or it could have been the second time, I think it was the first, then of course I was able to go with my daughters, both of them, separate times, of course, because one is older than the other, but go to the area of the campus that, so that they're introduced to those individuals who could provide, whether it's counseling or advice, because of course, as you all know, it's stressful on the college campus, and so someone they can talk to and release this stress or anxiety that they may have. Also, we visited, of course, the pharmacy, just in case, they knew, so they could know where the ibuprofen can be purchased, or the Aleve, or just whatever, Tylenol for cold, cough, and all of those different types of things. We went there as well. So, but I want you to just begin considering, those are especially for those mothers whose teens this is your first teen going off. Do we think that we're needing to hand that off? It just will help with their growth, and it will help with their maturity. And guess what? They may need that anyway. Of course, and I know on the college campus, or before you even go, you need to submit some medical materials, some medical records, some medical information. And so, I would just go ahead and make them a copy of that, or get an extra card just so that they're able to carry it on their person, if you will. That's going to be very, very important. Then also, secondly, consider separating those bank accounts just when they're about to, and some of you may have already separated prior to them transitioning out of the home. Whether it's you're removing your name from an account that, of course, they're in, or whether it's them you're needing to shift, of course, their name onto their own account that you'll want to establish, whatever it is. Just consider that, having those separate bank accounts, and allowing that financial separation or that financial divorce to take place as it pertains to their money. Now, of course, will we still be paying for some things in the future? Absolutely. But by the same token, they'll be able to manage their own dollars and be able to, of course, make decisions as it pertains to their purchases. And this is a time for them to even, and I prayerfully not costly, but for them, to make an error or make mistakes. I mean, just so that they're able to bump around a little bit, because guess what? We did. And At the end of the day, it is okay. It is okay. Also, we were sharing Prime accounts, if you will, Amazon Prime, and they're able to have their own Amazon Prime. Do we really need to know what they're purchasing? Of course, and of course, when they're in our home, we'd like them to be decent, dress decent, all of that. But of course, they're going to be on the college campus, and it's a part of their growing and maturing. Then some parents I've noticed, they're sharing email accounts, and or they have their son or their daughter's password to their email account. I never did, but by all intents and purposes, we'll want to make sure that we're even detaching ourselves from things such as that. And so, of course, again, I have a ninth grader, and so, and she has her own email, of course, but by the same token, we're still closely tied to those dollars that leave the account, of course, our account, because of course, she's in the bookstore on campus and making purchases or getting beverages and all of those types of things. Of course, they add up. And so when she's in the bookstore, when she's at her high school, then we're tracking, of course. But as time progresses, we will also, I'm in this too with you all, we will also divorce ourselves financially as she continues to mature. And I look forward to it. I look forward to doing that, just so that she can grow and make decisions, prayerfully wise decisions, but by all intents and purposes, make her own decisions as it pertains to finances. So that's number 2. Number 3, as they're transitioning out of the home, already consider just the possibility of limiting your access to grades. And this was huge for me, because when they were in high school, I was all about the grades, and then, and then on Saturdays we were in the library, and in the evenings as well. A number of the evenings throughout the week we were in the library, but by the same token, I was still in school myself, and so trying to wrap up that dissertation and needed to do research, and so and if in fact they needed help with homework or whatever, so we spent our lots of time in the library. But that grades were huge. But considering the fact that before my older daughters left out, that I had poured and poured and poured into them, I was confident that they still heard me even while they were on campus without even actually hearing my voice. I was confident of it. And so, and it proved to be true that they did continue to stay on top of the grades and say and share all of those thoughts, mothers, that you want to share before they leave. Because the time in connecting and conversing, it more than likely will be less. It'll be less. So you'll want to share what you have to share prior to them transitioning. So, and then consider the fact also that there will be limited access to their calendar, limited access or no access, should I say, typically to those grades. And I avoided even pressuring my daughters to sign the document on campus so that I needed to see their grades. I avoided that. So for me, I just released that idea of remaining on top of that situation. So if it wasn't the bank account, separating ourselves from that, the grades, calendar, and then also making sure that, I need to be connected with that student portal to see what classes she was taking, although she had an advisor. Away with that idea from me. We talked about that in the courses and classes and those types of things only when she brought that to me. When she brought up the fact that maybe she was really thinking about taking this class and how this class would help her, and then that would be a stepping stone to her then taking this class, and how, this maybe a piece of advice she was receiving she thought that would take her down another road as opposed to the road that she wanted to go. And so when I looked at things and when I looked at and then heard her, we made the decision together that she stay on track to where she was heading. And it proved to be a success. And so, but only, needless to say, only when she brought a thought or an idea or something was just seeming unsettled to her as it pertains to her coursework. Then and only then did we really decide, and I shared my thoughts about that. So, no access to her homework, no access to her emails, and guess what? They will be fine. They will be fine. So let me ask you, I'm curious to know, would you agree that sometimes, not that it's intentional, that our hovering could heighten the stress experienced by our teens? Just let me know. Just let me know. You could just type down in the chat at any given time. Do you think that could be possible, that hovering could heighten the stress? Because I know that's what we want to avoid. We really do. Okay, so that's 1, 2, and 3. Number 4 is, let's consider being okay knowing that their social life while on campus or otherwise, that knowing their social life for us could become secondhand or from social media. It could happen. All I was hoping my daughters would do is their very best and to graduate. Those two things. And they were crystal clear about that. They were aware of that. Just do your very best. Just pour into your, like bet on yourself 100%. Like invest in yourself. Like operate and work with the spirit of excellence when given. Because when you do that on the college campus, guess what? That hard work can translate to the workplace, whatever industry you decide to pursue. So that was important, and they knew that was important. So, but being okay with the possibility that you will know less about what they're doing. Because they'll be managing their own travel, whether that's by car or by train or by plane, they'll be managing that. They will, of course, I do have one thought which was very, very helpful, and that was making sure that I signed up for the Virginia Tech Facebook group where there were other parents and we were exchanging ideas, and some parents who were new were asking about certain engineering profs on campus, and so I was able to share some ideas and thoughts about that based off of what, of course, I had heard from my daughter. There was one particular time when my daughter needed help moving her items to storage. Parents were so eager to help. They jumped right in and said, "My son can help, and let's get a group of boys, a group of sons, if you will." I have no sons. I have 3 daughters, and but parents would rally their sons or daughters or whatever together, depending on the need. But in this situation, it was their sons, and they moved my daughter's items just like so quickly, and were so happy to do it. And then we. It was just an overall great situation. I asked my daughter to, offer them some pizza or something along those lines, and so it was just a good experience. And then also that was Virginia Tech, and then also at Mizzou, of course, I was a part of the Facebook group, and again, that group was a little less active, but nonetheless, it was very helpful knowing that there were parents, who were having meaningful dialogue, and an extra set of eyes on a college campus is helpful in all shapes, forms, or fashions. So it was just a win-win situation. And so all I am wanting us to do, and the reason I wanted to just spend time talking about this is just so that this can just resonate in your spirit, that this is what life will be like for many of us. Many of us. Some of you may have sons or daughters who may come to your home, you know, maybe after college, and they want to just continue living with you. And they may just want to just, you know, just stay there. And guess what? That's A-okay too. That's a family decision. That's A-okay too. But for some of us, those daughters or sons will be transitioning out of the home, you know, onto the college campus, and then they maybe come back home for a short while. And then guess what? The home is serving as a launching pad back out into the world. Or some of your sons or daughters may say, you know what? I just want to stay here for some years and work. And I want to save up so when this launching pad can just lead me right into my first home. So that's another strategy that's practiced by a number of teens who are finding their way, and they're gaining their footage and just trying to make sense out of what they want to pursue in life so they can give back to this world, and then they can make a living for themselves. So listen, thank you all so very much for listening. And next week, there will be a speaker who will come on, and she will talk about campus safety. And I am so excited about her coming. I just cannot wait for Mrs. Berkeley to appear and just talk about and give credence to her knowledge, because she served on a college campus. And so I know I'm going to be tuning in, because I'd like to hear what it is that she has to say. So listen, you'll want to be tuned next Thursday, of course, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here in our private Facebook group. I love you all. Listen, let's just continue to make an impact on our teens' lives who will be transitioning out. I know that it will make a world of difference. Again, love you all. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.